Hi, today we're going to look at what is a cloud sales mindset and how to build one if you don't have. Welcome to my channel, Journey to Cloud, and today we're going to look at what is a cloud sales mindset. Cloud sales mindset is about how a salesperson behaves with respect to cloud technology when he's in front of the customer. So I'm going to talk about few key characteristics of a cloud sales mindset and how to start thinking about it if you're not already thinking. And if you're already thinking, then this video should help you to narrow it down to very key important points. So let's deep dive into some of them, which I feel from my past 12 years of experience in sales, specifically around cloud. So the first one is having a long-term relationship mindset, not a transaction or a deal-based mindset. So if you have been into a IT sales for 1 or multiple years or 10 years or 20 years, one of the key things which people have the mindset is they always think about that particular deal, that particular transaction, or that one particular period of time where they sell the customer and then move on to the next one and so on. And that's the biggest difference when it comes to cloud sales. You cannot do that with cloud. So before you even get into the customer, before you even get started as a salesperson trying to sell cloud, the first thing you need to set in your mind is what is the long-term perspective of the cloud business. And that comes down to the fact, in a very simple definition, is cloud is a subscription model, which means a customer of yesterday is going to be a customer of today and is going to be a customer of tomorrow. It's always a long term. So you sign up a customer today, you cannot just say that I'm going to move to the next one and forget about this customer. You always have to be in this business to be with that customer, take care of the customer for as long as you can, and the rest of the strategies is going to be revolving around this one core principle that it's a lifetime customer relationship. And that will change your mindset, which means you will start behaving, acting, and talking to the customer all with this mindset. So keep the most important piece is everything you sell on cloud is a subscription. It cannot be a one-time sale like a hardware or a software, which is like a perpetual license. Cloud doesn't work like that. So if you sold something to a customer, that customer is going to keep coming back to you for anything, everything, as long as you serve him. Otherwise, he's going to leave and find another cloud provider or a company who can serve that relationship. And relationship doesn't mean just invoicing and collecting money. It's about building a relationship with respect to providing a service, giving an upgrade call, or any sort of assistance like training or a support. So long-term relationship mindset is the first, and I would say the most important aspect of the cloud mindset for a salesperson. If you don't have this, if you're not thinking like this, you better start doing it today, because that's the only way which is going to help you to start behaving when you're in front of a customer, specifically talking about a cloud service. So what's the next thing? The next thing is profitability. We all, of course, salespeople think about profitability on that deal, but bear in mind, cloud, as I said, it's a long-term relationship. You don't want to enter a transaction or a deal with a customer which is low on profitability, because just to pick up the deal, beat the competition, if you cut your corners and lower your margin once, thinking that next year you will be able to make it up, or a year after that you will be able to make it up, it never happens. So a deal which comes at a price, it stays. It can only go down or it can stay there, but it can never go up. A price never goes up for a customer. in cloud business. So typically that's how it works. That's the basic mindset of everybody who is purchasing anything. So just imagine a tariff fare on your mobile, which you purchase with your telecom provider. Have you ever thought of it going up? Typically it goes down. That's the mindset, right? So cloud customers always think that a price which they bought, it was always going to go down or at least stay flat. And that brings the fact that profitability needs to not to be compromised when you strike the deal. Don't cut corners with your competition. If competition doesn't know that they are just for picking up a sake of a deal, if they are picking up the deal with minimum margin, they will suffer it, because a customer will require support. A customer will require a financial assistance in terms of invoicing, collecting payments and all those things. And you will have more and more requirements coming in for future. So if you start with a low price and pitch only it as a product, not as a service, not adding value, you will suffer for a long term. So it's not a pain of 1 year or few months of the deal. It's about a permanent pain. So imagine you have 100 customers with lower or minimum margin, which is not able to cover your operational expenses and marketing expenses. Then you're shooting yourself. You're financing somebody's business. So that's something which you don't want to do. So when it comes to cloud, it's not about just doing a number of that quarter or that month. It's really about thinking about a long-term perspective for your organization. The third point is every dollar counts and every user counts. So another biggest mindset which you want to have with your customer, especially for yourself when you are getting into cloud sales, is don't think that, oh, why should I go and pick up a 10 user deal or a $100 deal to get started when I'm supposed to do a $1 million target. No, that doesn't work like that. So every dollar counts, every user counts. Of course, there are priorities you need to choose. I'm not asking you to go after all the small deals, but then even with a big potential customer, you want to start with $10, you better get started with $10 or one user, because that is going to lead to the only thing, which is growth. So don't miss out on small opportunities, because that small opportunities can turn into a big organization, or a big organization starting with small can turn into a much bigger deal. What is critical is, going back to the first point, it's a relationship. You don't want to think and act as if it's a one-time deal. It's always an ongoing relationship. That thing is going to maintain and grow your cloud business. So every dollar counts, every user counts. No small deal is small in cloud. It all will add up to your total recurring revenue. And that brings to the next point, which is healthy, predictable monthly business. If you are a salesperson, you're bombarded with a sales quota, and you are running after it every quarter after quarter, every month after month, and every year after year, probably what you need to start thinking about is this is where cloud really becomes much better. In a typical traditional business, your clock resets at the first of every month or first of every quarter or first of every year, and then you start working from ground up, which means if you did $1 million last year, you will have $1.2 million this year. And guess what? There is no baseline. You have to start from scratch, pick up deal by deal, and then reach to that threshold. Whereas in cloud, it doesn't work like that. Cloud, as I said, it's a long-term business. Every month, the business keeps growing. So every time you add a subscription, you add something called MRR, monthly recurring revenue, if you're selling a monthly product, or an ACV, annual recurring, or ARR, or annual contract value, which is an annualized value of the money which is there. So if you did $1 million business on cloud first year, assuming all your customers are going to stay with you, you will at least get 90% of this in the following year with minimum efforts, which means $900K of this $1 million is going to come to you next year by default if you do the right things. and then you go and add another $1 million as a net new business. And that's how the business grows 90%, 70%, 50% year on year as compared to 10%, 5%, 4% in a traditional business. So having a healthy, predictable monthly business mindset, it's good for you, not for your business only, it's good for you as a salesperson, which means if you want to hit a quota, you at least have a baseline. You will always have a baseline to cover a number, and that is what is going to come to you month over month. So which business is more lucrative? And it's no-brainer that worldwide every vendor is going crazy with this subscription model because it gives them a steady revenue stream. Once you get a customer on a subscription, it keeps going on and on and on, and that's the most important thing. So having a healthy, predictable mindset, which means you always want to go after a deal, a type of sale which is a subscription sale, because it's going to add to your recurring revenue. And finally, if you are going to be in the cloud sales, if you want to continue to grow in that cloud business as a salesperson, the last strategy or the last mindset is paramount importance. If you don't master this next words which I'm going to say, then you cannot survive in cloud business. It's upsell and cross-sell. You have to master the skill, and that's the core mindset which you need to have, which means it's not about one sale made to the customer, it's about second, third, fourth, and so on. The more you sell to the same customer, the cost of selling is lower, time of selling is lower, because you know the decision maker, you know exactly their environment, you know what they're paying you. You technically don't have competition there. You know the right decision maker. You can quickly make a decision because you know their current situation and environment. You can go and do a much better pitch than somebody selling a net new product to the customer. So upsell, cross-sell, if you don't do it in the cloud business, there is no way you can succeed. So super important. That's the last mindset I would like you to have. So I'll summarize for you. If you want to get into the cloud business and you want to start building into the mindset of a right cloud salesperson, here are the 5 things which I spoke about. Long-term relationship mindset, not one deal or not one transaction mindset. Think about profitability. Don't start going cheap when it comes to closing a deal. Put your efforts into making the customer understand the value which you're adding. Every dollar and user counts. So don't just give up a small deal for a big customer or a small deal for a small customer also. It will add up to your total revenue. Start thinking about every deal, which one is going to be long-term benefit for you. Is it one-time deal or a monthly recurring revenue? Obviously monthly recurring revenue or an annual recurring. Anything which is subscription model is the much better revenue than a one-time sale. And finally, upsell and cross-sell. So these are the 5 things which is a clear mindset a cloud salesperson should have. If you have it, this is just a summary. You might be aware of it. If you don't have it, start thinking about it and then get into the cloud sales. Otherwise, you will never succeed in cloud business or cloud sales as a career if you want to build it. So let me know anything you have extra to add to this as a points or mindset in the comments below of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please like this video, share it, and promote the channel among your community of sales. Thank you. This is Rahul from Journey to Cloud. Thank you. Bye.